All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So, I'm here to guide you through today's lesson. So, listen carefully so you know exactly what to do. So, first, we're going to start off with our Monday warm up or engage, which is going to be the Google form linked here as well as in Google Classroom. So, you can actually click the Google form here and it will take you directly to it. And I'm going to delete that question up at the top there. You'll want to input your period. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to take a look at the image below, write down 3 observations. So please write at least 3 observations that you notice from this image right here. Note how carbon is cycling. What contributes carbon to the atmosphere? Where is carbon in this ecosystem? Where do you see it? So think about some of those things for your observations. A sentence starter is you can say, I noticed that this, or I see this. And then I want you to write one question that you have about the image. And then you're going to look at some data here that shows some carbon dioxide. So CO2 is carbon dioxide. And it's showing carbon dioxide emissions by city. So the cities up here have the highest emissions, while the cities down here have lower ones. Write one observation that you notice. Where do you notice Los Angeles is? Write your observation here. Then answer the question using this graph. Where do you think most of the carbon emissions come from in Los Angeles? Where do we think all those carbon emissions, so emissions mean where is the carbon coming from? How is it being emitted or released into the atmosphere? You can use this image above as well to see maybe how you might think carbon is being released into the Los Angeles atmosphere. Go ahead and pause this video and complete the Google form now. Now that you've completed that Google form, I'm going to take you through the rest of the lesson. So we want to remember that from our last investigation, we noticed and figured out that our ecosystem was not getting enough energy storage molecules because of the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. And we also figured out that the amount of carbon dioxide in the air decreased, so it went down. Last week, we answered the question of what caused the carbon dioxide to decrease in the air, or our abiotic matter, because we want to remember that abiotic matter is our air or atmosphere. So we looked at the question, what caused carbon dioxide to decrease in the air of our biodome? We took a look at some data, and we knew that the carbon dioxide decreased in our biodome ecosystem because of the decomposers. So we knew that they decreased in our biodome ecosystem because of those decomposers after we looked at this data from last class. So now we're going to be looking at our chapter question. Our new chapter question, rather, is what happened to this carbon dioxide? We know that it decreased, so now we want to know what happened to the carbon dioxide that used to be in the air of the biodome. So our investigation question for this week to help us answer our chapter question is if we know the amount of carbon dioxide changed in one part of the closed ecosystem, and we want to remember that closed means that there's nothing No outside factors coming in. It's just what's in our biodome ecosystem. So if the amount of carbon changed in one part of our closed ecosystem, what happened to the carbon in the rest of the ecosystem? So where did the rest of that carbon go? If we know that it decreased, where did the rest of it go? So we want to remember this key concept that if one part of our system changes, the other parts of our system will change too. So we know that carbon decreased in part of our closed ecosystem. So we got to figure out, how did this affect the other part of the ecosystem? So you're going to take a look at an article. And when you read this article, you're going to highlight at least 5 key words that you are unfamiliar with or think that are important. So maybe words that stick out to you. You're going to define these words using the online dictionary I linked here. So you can click here and it'll take you to it. Or your good old friend Google. So you need to define the words that you highlight in the article, and you need to highlight at least 5 that you are unfamiliar with, so you're not familiar with, or think that are important or stick out to you. You're then you're going to annotate this article, and you're going to pick 2 annotations from your reading to help you answer this investigation question after reading the article. And we want to remember our investigation question is, if the amount of carbon changed in one part of the closed ecosystem, what happened to the carbon in the rest of the ecosystem? So you're going to go to the article in Google Classroom. The article is going to look like this. You'll scroll down and you're going to read each little section of the article. And when you annotate, you can annotate in these boxes next to it. So I'll model for the first one. So our first paragraph here is, scientists around the world who study Earth's atmosphere have discovered something dramatic and alarming, an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. They are finding that the increase in carbon dioxide in our atmosphere may have worldwide effects on our climate and our oceans, which can threaten life all over the planet. So now what you're going to want to do is annotate or briefly summarize the main point of this paragraph. So I might say, carbon dioxide has increased in the atmosphere and has affected our climate and oceans. So that would be my first annotation for the first paragraph. So then you'll want to go down to the next one and do the same thing for that. Again, while you read, so you might want to even reread, and I even say, because you want to highlight those key words, so you might want to say, oh, I noticed carbon dioxide. That seems like a word that sticks out. So I can highlight, and the way you highlight is you go up to the top here, click your highlight color, and you can highlight the word. Once you highlight at least 5 keywords like this and annotate the rest of the article, so you'll scroll down and annotate the rest of this article, you're going to paste 2 annotations that you think are going to help you answer this question, which is, if the amount of carbon dioxide in one part of the closed ecosystem changed, what happened to the carbon in the rest of the ecosystem? So pick 2 annotations that you think will help you answer this question, and then I want you to answer the question below here. You'll also take your key terms and you're going to put them in the table below so you can simply scroll through and look at when you highlight your words. You can copy them and paste them below. And then you can look up the term on Google or using the dictionary tool that I linked in the PowerPoint, where you can write your definition here. Please be ready to have discuss your annotations in class. We're going to be looking at your annotations in class and discussing them as a group. So it's important that you complete this assignment for tomorrow in order to be prepared for class. Be sure, so if this article or if any Google part of the Google Doc does not work, you may also submit your assignment on paper. Just be sure to take pictures. So I put those up here. So if the Google Doc does not work, you can submit your annotations and definitions and answers to the article on a separate sheet of paper and simply take pictures to submit to Google Classroom. And please let me know if you do not know how to do that, and I can assist you in attaching pictures to the assignment in order to complete it. So please reach out if you have any questions, and I will see you all tomorrow and Wednesday.